Yo, man, I think Patrick Mahomes might beat him this time, man. I didn't get to.
They already won. I'm trying to tell you. I
No,
watched it.
but now they this is the a rematch in the Super Bowl. Right now is Brady against Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
As I'm saying, Patrick Mahomes, they might beat him this time. That would be a nice way to for what you call him to go out, because I think this might be his last year, man. Be
You
nice
think it
for him.
might be the last year?
Yeah. For Brady, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he's still better than most of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
True.
I mean, he is the
True.
GOAT. I ain't gonna lie. If he said he
True.
was, I wouldn't be mad at him if he said he was playing another year. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But
Yeah.
I would like for Pat to get his. I'm calling him by his first name like I know him. I would like to see him get his revenge and beat him on his way out. You know what I mean? You know that'd be decent. You know. All right, how we looking, man?
We looking good. Hey,
Okay.
all right, everybody. Welcome to Real Brothers for the Real World. I'm TL, and that's my man Stace.
What's up, y'all?
I'm gonna have to ask y'all to bear with me today because I'm a little under the weather. Had a little bout with the COVID demon, and but I'm feeling a lot better now. So anyway, I'm not dead because I took the shot. So you know what I mean. So it is what it is.
Right.
What we got on tap tonight, Stace?
All right, y'all. Welcome to the Real Brothers of the Real World. It's good to be here another Sunday evening. Like Terry said, we're glad that he's feeling better. We're glad he had the vaccination because it could have been a lot sicker. So we got 4 topics. I'm going to name them. We're going to put the link out there to give you the opportunity to click on the link and to join us as we do this thing here. All right, Nike. The 4 topics, we have them out in the chat. And the 4 topics are, my definition of a lady is. Are we going to discuss those UFOs? And the second part of that is, does this fact or does this affect race relations?
Right.
Finally.
Hey, you're not going to ask me about my random?
Yeah, I am. Let me mention this last topic.
All right. Yeah.
Last topic, there is value in a trade. There is value in a trade. All right, Nike, you said you got a random?
Yeah, I do have a random. And I'm looking for, all right, I do have a random. And then I'll get to our we had one of our members had a house fire and lost everything. So we're gonna be touching on that after the show. But okay, so my random topic tonight is, if violence was necessary for colonization, is it necessary for freedom?
Violence. Well, violence.
I'm saying, like, I'm not advocating it,
right?
But I'm saying, is that necessary in order for us to be as free as we need to be?
See, you know what, I nowadays though, I don't necessarily believe that violence will be necessary. I think revolution can take a different form this time. I think that, to use a word that you always talk about, I think that if we come together and focus on what we want, I think that we can force change that way, through the ballot box and through financial means and everything else. So I don't know if these days, if I think that violence is necessary. I think the difference is, before, you didn't have the ability to use the judicial system the way that you can now. Now you have notable people, that understands the process, so can protect you as far as lawsuits and different things like that. So again, I don't know if I think that quote unquote violence will be necessary for freedom. I don't know if I believe that.
I mean, was it like? Well, it was necessary. Because we got the black dollar blackout, that we're trying to spread the word to everybody about. And I sort of agree with you, but I'm not 100% sure because okay, so what we're proposing, like because we've been fighting, marching, protesting, uh, you know, screaming to the top of our lungs, and we've been doing this forever, right? So the only other way that I can see, other than violence, in order for us to get where we need to be, is to hit the people, like the people, these greedy, billionaires and corporations.
Right.
You have to hit them in their pockets,
Right.
right? And the only way that to make them listen is to take away what they covet the most,
Right.
which,
Right.
which is our money,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we withheld our money, the whole thing we would be able to negotiate from a point of strength instead of trying to negotiate from a point of weakness.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do. So in other words, though, I think you just kind of laid out exactly what my point is. I don't think that violence is necessary, violence in the street, because we now have the financial wherewithal to understand the importance and the effectiveness of a boycott, because that's kind of what you're talking about.
Right. But I'm talking about like a boycott, not just for one company, across the board. Unless it's a
Right.
black-owned company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's my point, though. I think that I don't know if I think violence would be needed, because I think that before it gets to that point, we would all realize, like, okay, this is our last. We're on our last leg. We need to do something differently. We're gonna, like you said, hold back our dollars and shut the economy down.
Right.
I think enough of us realize that we do have the ability to do it. And Terry, I'll also say this. I think there are enough people that are sensitive to our plight that it won't just be the 13% of the black folk that are out there.
Right.
Even
they're in the same. Actually, they're in the same slavery system that we are.
You talking about like poor whites, and
not even just the poor whites. I mean, just think about it. We're in a rat race that we can't get out of, right? We're chasing bags on a daily, right? Chasing bags. It never stops because you have to. You have to pay. You have to pay for where you live. You have to pay for what you drive. You have to everything, right?
Well, let me chime in with this real quick, Nike. I'll say this: we chase, to use your term, we chase bags because we want those bags. None of us want to none of us want to be minimalists. None of us want to scale everything back and only consume the things that are absolutely necessary. We don't want to do that. We want cell phones, we want cars, we want nice houses. We can scale back. I would venture, Nike.
We can have those things. I'm not saying we can't have those things, but what I'm saying is we need to prioritize those things. Right. So we need to just imagine for a second if every black person didn't order from Amazon, right? And we said we're not spending another dime until then we have the leverage to talk about reparations. We have the leverage to talk about the lynching bill. We have the leverage to talk about social justice,
right,
healthcare, the whole nine.
Right.
But until we are able to come together as one unit, I don't see another way that we can do it. It can't be. There's no other way to do it. There's two ways to do it, and we just talked about the one, and the other one, and the
violence
other one
and economics,
is,
right? Yeah. See,
nobody really wants to go that way, but.
And that's why I say I don't think that violence would be necessary, because we realize the power of our dollar. We realize that. It's just that I don't think that a lot of us have been we don't think that we're in a position where we have to flex that muscle. I think that's what it is. We realize that like you said, if we pull back on spending and everything else, I think a lot of us know the effects that it'll have on the economy. We just haven't been pushed to the point where we feel like we need it. Right. You know, so lastly, again, I don't think that in this day and age that violence will be needed to get where we need to be. I think, actually, Terry, I look at it this way. I think it's more on us than it is on anyone else. It's more an issue on us.
Stace, we have more we have more power than any other, I would say, than any other culture in the United States. But if we don't use it, it's not really power. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, because of the money we spend in this economy, they need us.
That's right.
They need us.
Yeah.
So if we, don't use the power we have, then what's the use in even having the power?
Right. So if that's the case, then again, that also, further cements the point, though, that violence won't be needed because we already have the power that we need. We just don't use it. So violence will not be needed. It'd be different if someone is coming up saying, we're going to take something from you or something like that, and you have to hit the street to say that we're not going to sit down and allow that to happen.
Right.
But other than that, as far as us moving to the next level, again, I think it's more on us than it is on the system at large or anything else. It's more on us to stand up and force the hand of the system,
Right.
All right. So you ready, Nike?
Yes, sir.
Right. I'm gonna put out these topics.
Put the link out here so we can share it for anybody who wants to come on and comment. About to throw the link up, and y'all can feel free to come on the air and give us your thoughts.
All right, there it is. All right. So first topic, Nike. My definition of a lady is. And then we have, are we going to discuss those UFOs? And part B to that, and does this affect race relations? And lastly, we have, there is value in a trade. So where are we going, Ike? Where you want to start?
You know what? Let's get that. Let's knock that. What you call it out? My definition of a lady.
Oh, wow.
What's your definition of a lady, Stace?
All right. Now, oddly enough, Nike, we had this in the group chat and got a lot of responses. And I want to kind of paraphrase a few of them that I thought made a lot of sense. My definition, someone put it up there. I think that a lady is actually the opposite of a man. Softened approach, under control. It has a lot to do with the way that woman presents herself to society. A lady presents herself as if she's something special. She's different from other people. She's different, not other people, but she's different. She's something to behold. You know what I mean? And I think that, again, that's my quote unquote definition of a lady. I'm gonna try to pull it up. All right, go ahead, Nike. Give me what you have, and I'm gonna pull up what this. I'm gonna read what this person said that I think encapsulated a lot of it. What do you got? What
my definition? My definition of a lady is, of course, a female.
Right.
That is, well, first of all, she has to have a head on her shoulders. That's just first of all. And when I say a head on her shoulders, I'm talking about grounded. You know what I mean?
We say grounded. What do you mean, Nike?
I mean, who is comfortable in her own sexuality, for one. Right. Who is smart, but not, smart, but not.
Good evening, Lynette.
but not not smart to the point where she is down talking
Mm,
other people. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
And I think that a caring person, a loving person, feminine.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
What's up, Kay?
it's it's okay to have a ride or die chick and all of that, but deep down, you want a woman,
You want a
right? You
woman,
want a
right?
you want a woman
You
who
want the
is
opposite of you.
right, right,
And
right,
you know, like now, I'm gonna read to you what this lady said. I'm not gonna mention her name. She said, "Being kind, not necessarily nice. Nice doesn't do anything for anybody. Being an example of vulnerability and strength in situations where both are required. Allowing men to be men, not cavemen, and requiring by your carriage that they act accordingly." The word control, being in control. You know what I mean? And allowing men to be men. That I think that rang loud to me because I think that all too often
definitely.
now, we have, like you said, women almost like when we talked about what is it? When we talked about snitching. I
Hmm.
think the word lady has been co-opted or twisted around, and now it's thought that in order to be a woman, you just have to be it's strength. That's the and I don't think
Right,
I don't know if I think that word itself makes you a lady.
right,
Like I said, I think a lady is the opposite of, when a woman says they're looking for gentlemen, we
right.
know what that looks like. And I think a lady is the opposite. A lady is the opposite of that. I'm gonna read. I know you
Well,
want to say.
before you read that, Stace, let me just chime in on that.
Mhm.
There, so our black women can't really be held too much responsible for I don't want to say not knowing their place in the home, but not to be a helpmate to their man.
You said a woman
They
can't be. Our sisters can't be held responsible for not knowing how to do that.
right, right. Because what I'm saying is for years since the what since the epidemic, we don't own no ships and no boats to bring in no heroin from all these other countries. That's one. The cocaine crack epidemic.
Hmm.
So a lot. So and now like the pill epidemic. But so what I'm trying to say is the system has a lot to do with how our women treat us. Because for one, a lot of us get locked up in jail. You know what I mean? So the woman is home taking care of herself, her kids, and trying to take care of everything. And then you got a guy who comes along, after she's taken care of everything for so long. It's only natural that she thinks she has to keep taking care of everything. You get what
Now,
I'm saying?
I do, Nike. I do, but I think the difference is, as I read in that statement, it's the quiet strength. It's the
Right,
quiet strength. I
right. I
think
get what you're
that
saying. I
you
get what
know,
you're saying.
and again, and I agree with everything
Men
you
should
said.
be able to wear the pants in their relationship.
You say it again.
Men should be able to wear the pants in their
Correct. And
relationship.
and and the other thing that someone said that I agree with, a woman knows how to be the leader even when no one else realizing that she's leading. The reason why I think that's important is because let's face it, we men have egos. And to that person, the statement that I read, um, when you stomp on that ego, when you stomp on that man's ego, that's not gonna
Yeah.
that's not gonna end well.
Right.
Not consistently. You can't continuously stomp on a man's ego and not have repercussions as a result of that. So I think again, and to your point, women have been doing this for years. Have always been the backbone of the family and that brick.
Right.
But it's the quiet strength. Whereas I think now it's becoming a little more overt, and I don't need a
Because of
man.
the feminism movement and different movements like that, And then it's just like I said, women are doing their damn thing. They got
Absolutely.
like a woman has to work,
Hmm.
then come home, fix dinner, take care of the kids, try to get some time in for her significant other. You know what I mean? It's a
Hmm.
lot to that. It's a lot to being a woman, man. They have a full plate. But
I
the
agree with
thing
that.
is, they have to allow a man to have his position,
Absolutely. Right.
especially
Right.
if he's providing.
Right.
Like if I'm
Right.
providing for you,
Mm.
uh, if I'm providing,
Act accordingly.
I'm wearing the pants. I'm wearing the pants in this relationship. Even if I'm not providing, I'm still wearing the pants, but I'm taking a good man would uh take the stress off of her by cooking,
Right.
doing the dishes,
I mean,
helping with the kids, all
but
that. You know what I
and
mean? That's the
even with that, Nike,
contribution.
I think that again, when you talk about quiet strength, it's as the term that I always say is leading from somebody. Okay, leading from the rear. All right, let me read Lynette's statement. She said, "Lady is more about how she carries herself versus her garden, her gender, and age." Okay, I agree with that. And then lastly, she said, "Let me see here. Does being a lady have anything to do with a man and his feelings or status or place? Does being a lady has anything to do with a man? No, no, I don't think so because I think that you can be out in the street not being quote unquote ladylike, and that has nothing to do with a man. You know what I mean? And I think
Just
that
like,
that's
yeah, being a lady, that don't have anything to do with
no
the
right.
man.
It
We're
has nothing to do
giving
with a man,
our
right? Now, what the conversation we were just having, we were talking about, you
our
know,
definition
our
of what a
definition of a
lady
woman,
is.
of a lady, but also as it related to being in a relationship. But I think again, a lady, agreeing with what Lynette said initially, a lady has more to do with the way that she presents herself, to society. You know what I mean? The way she moves, the way she acts. You know, and again, I just think that we've kind of been getting away from that. I just see, and you could call me old fashioned, now you can call me old fashioned, but I gotta admit, when every other word is the F bomb and all that, I mean, I still cringe. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's right, but I do.
But
But
you know what? That's all in how you were raised. You know what I mean? If your mom walked around cursing like that, or if your
true,
sisters walk around cursing like
true,
that, then
true,
it would be normal to you. You know
true,
what I'm saying?
true. But
So
but Terry, now okay, and I thought about this earlier. If Does that have anything to do with the way men interact with them? When I'm with my homies and we're
definitely.
talking any old kind of way, if there's a woman around and we're still talking any old kind of way, do we now view them a little differently because you're quote unquote one of the boys?
Right.
So then does it become easier to view her that way and to handle her that way versus that woman separating herself from this saying, "But wait a minute, y'all, I'm still a
Well, it
woman. I'm
depends
still a
on what
lady."
she looked like too, unfortunately.
Which,
You know what I'm saying?
he says so.
People would put up with more nonsense from a beautiful girl or woman than they will from
Well,
a
no, because I
a
still
person that's not as beautiful. And
see, but
I
night.
mean, that's just the truth. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's the truth.
See, but
Am I
wait a minute.
wrong?
Yeah, I think so. Now, Kay said disrespectful. I don't know what she mean by
Okay,
that.
come on and
Okay,
hit this link and
Pete
come
the
on
link, Kay.
and tell us
She said disrespectful. Pete,
what you have a opposition to.
so somebody said, "Wow, really?" Like, I think somebody got some feedback, or maybe it's something I said. I
Oh
don't know.
man, we ain't get ready to get canceled already, is we?
No, but again, Tay, I don't think the way they
And
look.
please, everybody, just know that this is my personal opinion. It don't
Correct,
have nothing
correct,
to do with.
correct.
I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm not trying to be a misogynist or, uh, you know,
See, but
trying to.
and to get on that now, I don't know if I subscribe to that it has something to do with the way she looked because I carry myself differently when there's a woman around. My language is different. You know, because like you said, I was raised that way. There is a difference between a lady and a man,
Right.
and I acknowledge that difference. But also, like, is a little disingenuous for women that say they're looking for gentlemen, but then they don't want to act like ladies. Is there a disconnect there?
A little bit. I
What?
believe a little bit. Like, because
Because
like I
how
said,
can you say that you want a gentleman, which we think we know what that means? We want a gentleman, but then
see, but
we
every woman don't want a gentleman. That's the
but you
thing.
don't hear but you don't hear women, that's normally what you hear, I think.
Every woman ain't looking for a gentleman. They just looking for,
Just a
my
dude, just a
just
man.
a guy. That's why we
Right.
had so many relationship problems and so many what's the word? Unwed
Mm,
or fatherless babies. How about that? You know what
mhm.
I'm saying?
All right, we need
Because yeah.
go listen tonight. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, we got to. Women have, in my opinion, women
Mhm.
have to stop looking at what a guy can provide and look more at this. You know what I mean? Look more
But
at what
mm,
where his mental is. You
mhm,
know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because what he can provide, that ain't a guarantee that's gonna be there all the time.
Right, right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, that comment there, I wish one of them would have got on and gave us their opinion. But that
They being shy tonight.
on Facebook, that got a lot of feedback. A lot of feedback. A lot of people talking about, you know, um, women being in control and letting a man be a man. But
Right.
you know what though, Night. But the other side of that, then I guess men need to let women be women, right? Does that
Right.
apply also? So what does that look like? Letting a woman be a woman. You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's it's a little odd. I guess nobody's gonna come on. All right, all right. So since nobody's gonna come on this one,
They
we're gonna
chicken
move
on
on.
this one. They they chicken on this one.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll say that if someone wants to come on and go back to this one, then we can go back. All right,
Yeah,
if
we
something else
we, we can
comes
go
to mind,
back if y'all somebody comes on. We can hit it
we
again.
can readdress that one.
Yeah.
All right, Nike. So we got. Are we going to discuss those UFOs? And part B to that is, and does this affect race relations? Oh wait a minute. Oh, we got somebody coming on. Is that Lynette?
All right.
All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's
bring
Lynette.
on with no camera. Hey, Lynette.
How y'all doing?
Oh,
Hey,
you
what's
sound a
up?
little rough. How you doing?
I'm good. What'd you say? I sound what?
Oh no, it sounds better. Okay, it sounds
Okay.
good. All right, so
Okay.
you
I was hoping your viewer name, I think it's Kay or Kate.
okay? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was hoping she linked on. I was giving her some space. I ain't want
yeah.
to link.
Well, hopefully she'll still come on. Here go Carla. But okay. So what are your thoughts then, Lynette? The topic we were talking about is your definition of a lady is, but you can go anywhere with that you feel.
Well, I think that we always have to keep in mind, the difference between a lady. There's a difference between a lady and woman. Like when we use these
Mm.
terms, these titles, there's definitely a difference.
What's the
Um,
difference?
so a lady it's more in reference to the way a woman carries herself, how she presents
Right.
herself, the level of respect, what
Mm.
Right.
she is putting forth, to whoever she's in front of.
Right, right,
Right.
A woman, that's when we start talking about strengths and all that good stuff. But ladylike, and on your post on Facebook, I did bring in like a little bit of the origin of
I saw that.
where the word lady, the title lady came from,
Mm-hmm.
and it it was associated with royalty, and those
Mm-hmm.
women had to carry themselves a certain way, and that's why we that led the example for what a lady is, just
Nice. I
based
like
on
that.
Right.
Royalty. Now, let me ask you this, Lynette. Does it make a difference? What I mentioned a minute ago was that my conversation changes when women are around. Does it make a difference when a woman is around? Excuse me, a lady is around, and the conversation doesn't change? Does that then affect the way that the men see that woman? Does she then see that ladies as one of the boys, etc.? Is there any effect at all? Do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, first of all, thank you to the men that do still respect a lady, a woman, a female stepping into the area and curbing yourself accordingly. Now, once a woman steps into the area and she shows that she's not a lady, if those men choose to then go back to being raggedy, then
She likes that term.
then then that's on her because
Right.
she sets the tone.
She sets the tone, and that's kind of what I was getting at, though. And I think that now that tone isn't set because I think that we have watered down the definition of lady. So now we see lady as strength. So and you hear, women saying, don't view me any differently, etc. So now it sounds to me like the desire is to be viewed as one of the boys.
I'm old school as well. And I believe that, a man should, regardless of how a woman is acting, whether she's acting ladylike or not, if a man continues to have that respect because she is a woman, that's beautiful. But how can a woman expect to be treated a certain way if that's not how she's carrying herself?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Lynette.
A lady commands a certain level of respect.
Agreed.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Lynette. As always, thank you for chiming in. If you get another thought, come back on.
Indeed. Thank you.
All right. Be good. Now I noticed that Kay said in a minute, so I don't know if she meant she would be chiming in. She said, "I respect men for men, and they should respect me as well." But you know what, Nike?
She said it's Carla. She got to get presentable.
Oh, Carla.
So
okay.
Throwing a face on or something.
But Nike, but listen to this though. Listen to this. And Lynette kind of said it. Oh, and you just kind of said it also. A woman, a lady demands or commands respect.
Right.
So again, if that lady, that female isn't presenting herself in a respectful manner, then it's a real easy jump for men to not show her that respect. Because if you're acting like a man, then right or wrong, men are gonna act accordingly. Men are gonna act like treat you like a man.
You know what my grandmother used to tell my sister? A man is only going to treat you
the way
how you let him treat you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If you don't take no shit, he ain't gonna give you no shit.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yes, right. That's true. And you know what's funny, Nike? I think Lynette said it. Even as far as the conversation we had last week, we were talking about leading them on. The woman sets the tone.
Right.
The woman sets the tone. The woman sets the tone as far as, like you said,
she has complete control.
She has complete control. If she acts like a man and she presents herself like a man, then the man is gonna meet her there. But if she commands respect, now I'm not saying you meet with a knucklehead that doesn't have that in his arsenal, because there's some men that can't step up and be gentlemen. Exactly. Right. I'm not talking about that. A man is going to meet a woman where she is. If she's
to that point, Stace, are they a real man?
Well, they're men because they have the body parts to say they're men, but they're not gentlemen, and that's the difference.
Yeah, it's more to being a man just having a dick and balls.
Well, no. True. I see what you're saying.
I know you're talking about like
gentlemen. Not just the dude
or whatever, but I'm talking about like, a man has a certain character.
Correct.
Right? I'm talking about a real man.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just like a real man has a certain character, a real lady has a certain character.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
Like not every woman with a vagina is a lady.
Is a lady,
Just like
absolutely.
not every man with a dick is
Is
a
a
man.
man, right?
Right.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
There's a difference. All right, so Carla says she's gonna pop on.
I think she said that earlier. But we're gonna have to move on because this
Yeah.
topic is, yeah.
So if she comes on, then we can double back to this one. Okay.
She said she told her dad that there aren't many real men left
Like him. Wow.
like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said never mind. All right. So tonight we're gonna move
All
on.
right.
We got. Are we gonna discuss these UFOs? And part B to that is, and does this affect race relations? And lastly, we have the value. There is value in a trade. Where you
All
want to
right.
go?
Well, you know me. I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. We got to discuss that. Are we going to
UFOs.
discuss those UFOs?
All right. So what was it, Knight? What brought this up?
Cause man, I was reading this report that I showed you from the from the what was it, the DNI, which is the Pentagon,
Right. National Defense.
yeah, national.
Okay. And what was it? You want to give us the highlights? The abbreviated version. What did it say? What did you get out of it?
Yeah, and this is from the Director of National Intelligence. So what they're saying is there was one of the incidents that kind of alarmed them more than a few other incidents that occurred is the USS Nimitz had an experience where some tubular, unidentified, or they even changed the term now. What is it? Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Right.
UAPs now they call them.
Right.
Yeah, so that's real shit. And my thing is, how come we don't hear more about this? Like you hardly, like, you have to look for this information. They have information into one of those bills that they passed, the Freedom of Information Act,
right,
where they let out a bunch of documents where I mean, some of those documents were redacted quite a bit,
right,
but still that tells you that something's going on.
And they have been saying that I mean, well, and that's the term unidentified flying object. I mean, it's just something that can't be identified. Right. So, and I took a look at the article that you sent also, and that's what they concluded, that if there was an object that they didn't think that it was anything that they were familiar with because of its movements. It was the angles that it turned, and it looked like it dove beneath the water or something. So to them, it didn't look like any object that they were familiar with.
That we made.
Right.
We don't have that capability yet.
The technology,
said that some of the maneuvers that this thing was making were so fast,
that
if a human being was inside that craft,
blanked out.
They would be dead because of the just from the G-forces.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're saying that that's not something from here.
I mean, you know what, Nike, now that that happened, I think, in 2017, and then now it's starting to declassify those that information, and I think it's a good thing. But to be frank with you,
the thing is, it's like people had so many problems. People don't even care. Like,
true.
You know, I mean, what I'm saying? They could be living next to us, and we'd be like, man.
Well. I think that'll change the game. I think you like, yeah, you poor like me. I think the difference is, though, as long as it's not seen, as long as it's a mystery or it's not confirmed 100%, I think that will make the difference. As soon as a news agency has a video,
but they have
that's
videos.
Clear. No, that's clear.
Plenty of videos.
No, now the one that they showed was a grainy one when they just showed the dots out in the horizon flying. Nothing close up. There hasn't been anything close up. That
yes, there
has. Okay. Well, then I think that once that truly gets out and it's confirmed that that's not human, technology, I think things will change. I think things will change because right now, Terry, I think even when you listen to the news, when they put the article out, like I said, it was discussed a little while ago, but it's still on that border. It's still in the gray area as far as whether it's of extraterrestrial or not. They
But I
haven't.
think that we've been
It's not
so
definitive.
desensitized uh, regarding aliens and all that stuff, through movies,
Mm,
videos, television, all of
right.
that, man. Like, what I'm saying, cable, just social media. We have been. Like I was saying earlier. It's almost like when when people get sensitized to violence.
Mm-hmm,
Same thing. So
mm-hmm,
now you see somebody getting their head blown off. You're like, damn.
mm.
Where years ago, before we was all, you had all of this information.
In your house, right?
That would be a big deal. Like, damn, he got his
Right,
head blown off. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
But you know what
So
though? But
so
I think though, in all actuality, I think it's good that we have become desensitized to the thought that there's other life outside of where we are now. Because
oh yeah, I agree.
I think that the government does, of course, the government, their job is to protect the country, and they don't want to panic on their hands. So I think that they do know more than they're saying. I do believe that. I think they
Most
know than
definitely.
they're saying.
I'm gonna put this other document in the chat.
But I
Uh
think that I don't know if we would be ready to see with our own eyes a being from another planet. I don't know if we're ready for that.
I don't think it's a. I don't think it's actually a point of being ready. You gonna see it. You know what I mean? When they ready to show themselves,
True.
you gonna see it.
But
You
what
know what
I'm
I'm
getting
saying?
at
And
though is that
whether you are
ready or not.
ready or not, here I come.
Right. But
Be
this
like
was this
Lauren
is what
Hill
I
out
meant
this
by that
joint.
though. I meant that with the divisions that we have now, we can't even get along as humans. How are we going to respond when we have confirmation that there's another being out there? Another. You know what I mean? I don't. Unfortunately, it's too
Let me
many
ask you a
people that are still
question.
ignorant.
If they were to let themselves, if there was disclosure where they would, you know, show themselves, right?
Right.
Do you think that would bring uh, the world population or countries together?
Now, okay, I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna read what Lynette said. If they're as raggedy as Earthlings, Lord have mercy. And I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
that's
that's a
true.
scary thought. If they
Because
had the
they have
technology
technology
to
that we
get
don't
here,
have.
correct,
Right.
correct. And if they're raggedy and they want to come down here and cause problems, then you're right. That's an issue. Now,
Actually, a lot of the technology that we currently have
from space,
comes
that's right.
from the
Space race.
the no, it comes from the reverse engineering of a craft that crashed in
Uh-oh.
47,
Wait a minute now.
Roswell, New
You
Mexico.
just slipped something in. So
No, I'm just saying. You never
saying
heard of
that
Roswell, New
I have
Mexico?
in Mexico,
Area
right? So in
51?
Mexico, right. So you're saying that a lot of the technology we have came as a result of a spaceship that crashed in 47.
Do you know how fast we
Is
jumped
that's what you're saying
from?
though, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So you
Do
think
you?
go
I'm
ahead.
in technology, right? So
Mhm,
I've been in technology for almost 30 years.
mhm,
So I seen what we were living like in the 80s.
mhm.
And now this is 30 years later, and we're doing stuff that we couldn't imagine back in the 80s, right?
Wait a minute. So
Fiber optics. Uh uh
I mean, but that's not to say, but how do you make the leap from technical advances that are made to saying that we got those technologies from spacecraft? How do you make that leap? Our society still advances, technology wise anyway.
all right. So have you ever heard of a guy named Bob Lazar?
No.
He got in trouble because he worked at Area 51, and that's a top secret facility, and nobody's
In the
allowed to
desert.
discuss any of them. He came out telling exactly the projects that he was working on.
Mhm.
Him and a couple other guys. If you don't believe me, I'm look up Mufon, and look up Bob Lazar.
Okay. See
right.
now.
But anyway.
Right. Okay. But now the second part of that then that was would this help once a being from another planet is discovered and confirmed? Will that help race relations here?
I don't know. Would people be racist against the aliens?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. They're racist. They're racist against people that anybody. Yeah, they will. They're racist against anything that's not like them. And that's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
Crazy,
I think.
though, right? That's crazy.
But to answer the question though, Knight, maybe it would help race relations. Because if you see a being that look like a dog that's talking,
and then you looking at a black dude.
You listen at a black dude,
come
at
on,
least
bro. Come on,
right. So maybe that will help.
Hey, maybe that's what we need. Disclosure.
Well, but
maybe
you know what,
we
though?
need disclosure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, why don't more people look for this information when it's out there? They tell you it's out there, but it seems like nobody cares. I think people are too busy dealing with their own issues, even worry about
that part.
A daggone alien. Like,
in addition to
alien,
that,
I got bills.
I think the other, I think that part right there. But additionally, the fact that the sources,
Ooh, look what Lynette said.
What'd she say?
No, go ahead.
Okay, the sources. We still need the major reputable sources to say, okay, folks, it's been found, and we can now confirm this. Versus one person that said they worked at Area 51 and this is what they saw.
It's more than one person that came out, and I showed you earlier that they have a Pentagon UFO rapid response team.
You know what's funny?
That was ordered by Congress.
Now, I read over that. But listen to this though. I skimmed through the thing that you sent, and in it, in bold, it said those findings haven't been confirmed yet. So again, they're not saying there's no one has in the government has come out and said, ladies and gentlemen, we can now confirm to you that we have a spaceship that has landed or
they're
whatever.
Not gonna, you think the government is going to come out and say, why would they have just created a UFO rapid response team?
Well, because
if they weren't concerned that there was something out there that they don't know exactly
well,
what
they
it
are
is.
concerned, but we talked about that because remember, these pilots are saying that they're seeing things, and the naval vessel that you mentioned earlier, these pilots are saying that they're seeing things that they can't explain. So now you need to find out what they are, but that doesn't necessarily make the leap to saying that those are craft from another planet. That's
if that technology doesn't currently exist
that we're aware of. But that doesn't mean that
we're aware of.
I mean, because the fact that the United States government is not familiar with the technology doesn't mean that another country is not a little more advanced than we are, or some person came up with something in their basement.
We have a whole military industrial complex, Steve.
We
have the biggest. Wait, let me tell you. Let me just tell you.
Okay.
We have the biggest, most expensive military in the world.
Right.
That's why the United States is where they are.
But one thing that it takes that it doesn't necessarily mean that they have is all the minds. You could have a genius in his basement creating something. Think about Microsoft. He made Microsoft he wasn't part of the government. He created Windows in his garage. So that doesn't mean that can't be some genius in his basement somewhere doing technical experiments and have come up with something
building fucking planes that fly. They building crafts that are faster than anything we have.
Are you saying that it's impossible
in our government?
Are you saying that it's impossible?
That's impossible. That's impossible.
Okay, how can you say it's impossible?
How is that possible? Somebody in their garage building a spaceship
because you never know
that flies faster than the fastest plain known to man.
So you
Hey,
saying that
come
the
on,
only
man.
people,
That's not even
Terry,
plausible.
so are you saying that the only group that makes discoveries are is the government? No, people
No, I'm
discover
not
things
saying
on their
that.
own all the time.
I'm not saying that they're the only one that make discoveries. They're the only ones that have the money and the technology to
No,
build something
I
like that.
disagree with that.
Nobody ain't gonna be able to build that in a garage, Stace.
Terry, but listen to this though. For all you know, and Nike, and you
That's
talking about
ridiculous.
no, because Nike, again, you're talking about
You got
people.
the tin hat on now. He like somebody in their basement. They created fucking
Supersonic aircraft.
yeah, shit that fly faster than 12,000 miles an hour.
Like, all I'm saying is that it's
In
not
his phone.
it's not like it's not impossible. All you need is resources. Like all you need is resources. Do you agree with that though?
Right.
All you need is resources
You need resources for
and the
sure.
tech and the know-how.
$1 billion budgets. Yo, look.
No,
Look
not
up
necessarily.
Skunkworks. Look up
Who?
Skunkworks. Skunkworks.
Okay, all right.
Look
You
it
guys
up.
see this later.
Stace, this is my shit. This is we in my
Your
wheelhouse right now.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
This is my shit.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
All right. So again, so will this affect race relations? So your answer is what? What do you think? Will once it's determined or confirmed that they're beings from another planet, will that help race relations here?
I think it's you know what? I actually think it's gonna make race relations worse
Really?
because
Between each
because the
other
people no. Because well with them and each other, because this is the thing. The government and corporations are always looking for the next dollar. So they're gonna try to find a way to monetize whatever happens. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're gonna make it where somebody's gonna get paid
for this, right? Agree with that.
right?
I mean, that's capitalism. Yeah, that's capitalism.
Right. So
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Whatever got to happen for that to happen, whether it's race relations or whatever, that's what's going to happen.
But now my response to that is I do think that once it's confirmed that there's other beings, I think that that's something that will pull people together with each other. I think that'll make people realize that there's another entity out here that's different from all of us that might have abilities that we don't have, and we need to stick together. So I think that it'll happen. See, now you know what though, Lynette wears a tin hat also. I just want to say that.
No,
so
it's not a tin hat, man.
So she's familiar.
You have to
Lynette's
look stuff. You have to investigate stuff.
All right, hey Lynette.
The Anunnaki and Sumerian, those are actual texts. No,
I'm not talking about this one specific thing here. You know,
what you talking
about? I scratched
you talking about building rockets in the basement. building
right.
He gonna
I guess to say this we all do. All right. All right. So you ready to hit this last one up, man?
Huh?
The last
let's hit
topic.
the last one up.
We got 7 minutes left. There is value. There's value in a trade. There is value in a trade. Now, you want me to start on this one?
Yeah.
We were having a discussion, and we were talking about how we think, and I agree with it, that we need to do a better job telling people exposing people to the value of a trade. Because let's face it, school isn't for everyone. It's not. Some people hate school. Some people wake up every morning and don't want to go to school, but it's just something that they have to do. So I think that, and we're seeing it now, especially in this day and age, with social media and everything else. You can have a business and have a thriving business advertising on social media and things like that. I think we need to do a better job with letting our kids and the youth know the value that you can get from a trade. What do you think, Nike?
I think, well, first of all, and this is just my personal opinion,
right?
And I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression because I have put a few kids through college.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I think college, unless you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or some other occupation where you have to, you know,
You need that pace. You need a license. You need the document.
right, yeah, or you or lot people's, you know, lives, you know, are
Right.
affected,
Right.
right? So, but that's, you know, there's plenty of those occupations out here, but people overlook, you know, a plumber. You know what
Right.
I mean?
That's right.
Plumbers make good
Right.
money.
That's
You
right.
know, heating and
Right.
air, they make good money.
Right.
Truck driving, they
Mm.
make good money.
I
And
think
all
that's
the
gonna
things I
change though,
just
Knight.
mentioned, right,
I think
are
it's
trades.
changing. Yep.
Right. And the thing is, you don't need a college education to make a good living. You
No.
need a trade.
Right.
Like, and you know my story, Stace.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I didn't pay to go to college. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
did, but this was later.
Right.
When I first got into my first job, I came to the club. Remember, I came to the club, and he was like,
With that
"What
book.
you doing?" Yeah, I had the book.
Yes, he
That
did.
joint was like this thick, was it?
Yes, it was.
That
Yep.
shit was like this thick. I
Yep.
told Black, I was like, "Yo, man,
I'm gonna learn
if I
this.
learn everything that's in this book,
That's right. Terry,
I'm,
you
I,
remember you
I
called
can
me
make a certain amount of money." You know what I'm saying? Didn't I?
Knight.
Didn't
I
I?
remember you called me on the job and was like, Stace,
Yeah.
they told me to hit. Well, it was another word for enter. It might have been control or something. You was like, what button is that? I'm like, Knight,
Yo,
that's
no,
it.
he was like, put this piece of code in and then hit return.
Return.
I'm
That's
like,
what it was.
yeah,
Terry
I'm
called
looking
me
on my jaw. I'm
like, Stace. He
damn, my
called
jaw
me on the
don't got
job like,
return. He like, no, enter, asshole.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
but
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 hey, you know
now,
what I'm
and
saying? But
I read an article, and I think I sent it to you. The article with Lux, what's his name? Lux, the owner of what's his name? Not the fella that owns the car company and Version, one of the richest dudes. But anyway, he was saying when he does his hiring, he gives them a test. He it was the like
Tesla,
the two.
the guy
Yeah,
that owns
what's his
Tesla.
name? What's his name? Lex, whatever.
No,
But anyway, he said he tests them on the skill that they're going to need to do the job.
right.
Period. He's not looking at a resume. He's saying if I give you a task to solve this problem and you can solve it regardless of your background, if you can solve that problem, you have a job here.
Right.
And I think that that's profound. But you're also starting to see, Knight, you're also starting to see where they are putting more emphasis on different certifications. You know, even if it's not a 4-year degree, but you have a certification saying that you specialize or that you understand the intricacies of this task or this programming language, etc. You're starting to see that now. So I think that, you know, we need to discuss these as options with our kids more. Like you said, truck driving. You know, now a little bit down the line, will that possibly go away? Yes, but no time soon. What did this person say? I want to put this.
And you were talking about Elon Musk.
Musk, that's what it was.
Yeah.
All right. And somebody said jobs. All jobs have school links, may be certified or licensed. Procedures is connected to everything. Procedure.
Well, that was kind of my point, and I kind of had got off track and lost my train of thought. But I think when I was talking about I had put my kids through college, I think college is a scam. It's a scam because, like I said, unless you have a position or an occupation that affects people's lives, you know, where it can make it, you know, could be the difference between, you know, life or death or you know, imprisonment or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You don't really need it. You don't really need it because all of the books that you're gonna get, in college are available at your local bookstore or online.
Yeah, you know, though, I guess what you're saying is depending on the practice that you're going into. Like you said, if you're going into law, you need to have a firm grasp of the law and case law and history and all that other kind of stuff. The medical, The medical field is different. But if you're going, for business administration,
Right. There's plenty of books on that. And you
I
just
mean,
have to have the dedication to
dedication. I was going to say that.
sit
That's
there
what it
and
shows.
read it.
That's what it
And
shows.
read it, not just read it, skim through it. Read it until you understand what it's telling you.
Well, some people say that, Nike. They say that college has more to do with the networking and building out your network more so than anything else. Also, the people that you meet in college that you might be able to lean on later. So
that's their thing.
But I'm saying, they're saying that, the connections that you make, the network is expanded a lot when you attend college, but
the only thing I'm saying, it don't necessarily need to be done that way.
Agreed.
Because, let's say you spend all of this money on a college education, right?
Right.
And, your network ain't there for you. Then what?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think something you said earlier, though, that it shows dedication. It shows that you can undertake a project and see it through to the end. It speaks more to that than anything else.
Everything that we do, everything that we want to do, we can do if we put our mind to it.
Absolutely.
If somebody else can do it, I'm of the mind that if this dude can do it, I can do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And what make him better than me?
And like I saw a stat a while ago. If I remember correctly, it talked about the people that create more businesses than anything else are people with trades. But that's what you said, though. You're talking about electrical contractors. You're talking about contractors, plumbers, people, people with skills like yours. IT
house
professionals,
builders, like you know what I mean. Welders, all of that, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And most of those jobs,
and they can't be outsourced.
Most of those jobs have unions.
Well,
that's important.
And they can't be outsourced.
When you go to retire after that, you know what I mean? You have a pension.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're from the union. And then, you go in having to make a certain amount of money because the union says so.
Right. They set the tone.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So,
that's right.
I mean, college is all, I'm not taking anything away from college.
Right.
College is good for certain things.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the majority of the things that you can do to make a living, you don't need college.
Right. Oh, okay. That's what that was. Ms. Stevens. All jobs and schools have links, must be certified or licensed. Procedure is connected to everything. Right. Yep. All right. So in closing, Nike, anything else, man?
Yeah. Before I forget. All right. So I have information on one of our sisters, Sharia Renata, and she's her and her family lost everything in a fire, and we want to. Well, RealBrosLive is going to throw something in her GoFundMe page, and then we're just asking that maybe we can get some other people to donate to her GoFundMe page as well. We verified everything. You know what I mean? We have one of the moderators of the Black Lives Matter group has verified with the fire marshal and everything, and it's been vetted. And I don't co-sign nothing. I ain't gonna co-sign nothing that I can't prove, or co-sign nothing that ain't right. So what I'm asking is for Sharia Renata and her family. Please donate. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I would appreciate you guys. If y'all could help us out, because that's the. I just think that's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So that's my take on that.
All right. Nice. He's going to put the link out there. The information will be in the group chat so that you can see it. If you can make a donation.
Yeah, and we're going to donate, and we wish them the best. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. All right. So in closing, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank the people that came on and listened, and people that made comments. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you saw yourself in some of these conversations. Don't forget to please subscribe to the page on YouTube. We have it out there. It's going up slowly, and we like to see that. So please continue to subscribe to the page. If you have any ideas of things that we can discuss as topics, please send them over, because we do pay attention to that. But again, thank everybody for tuning in. And
I have one last thing.
Okay.
I have one last thing. Everybody that can hear my voice, please join us. Spread the word. Tell a friend. RealBrosLive.com/Black Dollar Blackout.
That's right.
And
what's that date? June 11th.
Yep, June 11th, 2022. And we appreciate all our listeners. And we love sharing our digital neighborhood with you guys.
Absolutely.
And remember, love is the new black. And I guess we out now.
All right. Peace.
Peace.